such a unique upbringing with parents coming from two different cultures, countries, father Emirati, mum not, and then growing up in a multi-diverse, I think, schooling, home, friends, environment completely. And that, I think, has shaped my way of thinking. What do I want to be in life? Where do I want to go in life? My sister started studying hospitality management, and my mother always wanted us to have, I think, a very glamorous and highly educated background, and then enter a field. She loved hotels. She always drilled the idea, one of you should be hoteliers, one of you should be hoteliers. So my sister started, and then I used to hear about, the interesting side of life, and I said, is it too late to start into the career path my sister started? She's the eldest in the family, but between her and I is only 11 months, so we technically grew up together. And then I had 2 days to enroll and start classes, and that's where my hospitality journey started, and hospitality academics started. Coming out of being a chef to then being a restaurateur, and then moving into an operations management role, looking after banqueting and events, and then more of the management part. And in between, I always supported marketing as well, where I was asked to do a task force projects in different departments. And then as you grow within the management role, it moves more into the operations and then the overall operations of the hotel, which then kind of led me into the 2 openings that I've done, the 2 very different hotels, both luxury, both 5-star, but then one is a resort and the other one is kind of a lifestyle city resort. So when the opportunity did come my way, and they sat me down and said, okay, now you're going to be the general manager of Manzil Downtown. I did take over Manzil Downtown as an operations manager, which then would lead me into my general manager role. So it was the plan in the pipeline. I just didn't know how soon it would be, but when it came in a lot sooner, I was extremely happy, a little bit nervous, only because I knew there's so much that I want to do, and developing a whole team and looking after a whole establishment, it is a big job. My leadership skills, I think it brings in a few concepts together. One, being a great mentor, because that's the only way you teach the next generation or you develop them. And 2, to make a change within the industry and the mindset of the community, because it is still not the most sought out career. Neither having a hospitality degree or international hospitality management degree is still a #1 priority, but it is changing. You are not hired because you're a woman, you're not hired because you're a man. You're hired because you are great at what you do, because we see a talent and because we see where we can lead this place or this hotel or this department forward together. And I think being a leader now, being given this opportunity, it is also not just my national duty to look after the youth of the nation, to encourage them in the field, but also women. And that's one thing Olivia Harnish and Alma Jung, who is now the corporate director of partnership and strategic projects and leading the Emaar Expo 2020 project. We've together designed Women in Leadership that actually looks into specific aspects women who have been in the industry but then perhaps left to take on motherhood roles and then want to come back. How do we make it easy for them to transition? Why not give them the opportunity to come back, to re-enter the industry? There are so many roles that could be done differently. Overall, I'll be looking at 155 team members from Manzil Downtown, but then in addition, we will also be welcoming 40 Emirati graduates, part of the Emiritisation graduate program, whereas we train 40 Emiratis to be the next generation leaders within the hospitality and hotels. So I look forward to that. We are expecting them to join us in November of 2018, and it's a one-year management program. It's an accelerated program, so they will start with I think a shock of a journey. For women, and I think I've had a few great women leaders who I look up to them, and I always tell them, be strong, be firm. You are in this industry just like everybody else, but perhaps you have to earn your stripes more than everybody else because you're outnumbered by men. That's the only way. Don't give up. Know what you want and never compromise on your belief and values, because if you stand firm and strong in your values, it will take you forward into your leadership roles, into just starting even as supervisory roles before moving to managerial roles. It is who you are as a person and also your work ethics. If you work hard but also have the courage to not compromise on your values and beliefs and ethics, the world is yours. The first thing is to develop the team, my own team, and see why they've not been to the potential they ought to be. So that's my number one key. And then two, bring in the youth development and then employment. Being involved with United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and in particular Goal 8, which is economic growth, a decent work for all, gender equality, i.e. having more or equal women to male ratio within the working force, as well as youth employment. So that's one thing I want to focus on, and then kind of align the policies to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, because this is in line with our government's global initiatives, and also the UAE and another 192 countries have signed their commitment at the United Nations that we are going to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030.